Okay.
Hi there, and welcome to our first Q&A video. Obviously during lockdown we're in separate houses, so we've got two views of our houses for you behind us. So we've had some lovely questions submitted, and we'll kick off with the first one. Is, first of all, are we really sisters? And the answer to that is most definitely yes.
Yeah, she finishes my sentences all the time.
She's the oldest, and she says I'm the bossy one.
Definitely. Yeah, no. The other question we get asked quite a lot is, what started you writing? Well, that all started on a family holiday when Tasha's son Sam and my nephew was only a few years old. And my brother-in-law came up with a quote about every time Sam goes to sleep, he wakes up somewhere else. And I said, oh, that would make a good story. And that's what started the ball rolling. So we started writing, first off was Harry the Hapless Ghost. And then after that, we've written quite a few little Pojo stories. So that's what started the ball rolling.
Okay, our next question is, how do we come up with ideas? Very often that comes from us deciding a particular period in history or particular topic we want to write about. So we've tended to follow things you do in schools, like deforestation or the Egyptians or the Romans or something like that. So we think of the topic first, and then as we're starting to do the research into that, the idea for the story tends to come from there. Certainly when we were researching the Romans, we went to the Roman Museum in Cirencester, and there was two tombstones there, and actually they form the main characters for the story. So very often, or it tends to be somewhere Tonya's been on holiday very often.
So yes, the inspiration for stories comes from all over the place, and very often it can just be snippets of conversation all over the place. So over to you now, Tonya.
I know another question we get asked quite a lot is, how long does it take us to write a book? Well, it takes us quite a while, because once we've had the first idea, we then get down a quick first draft after we've plotted everything out and decided how we want the story to be. And from there, after I've done a first draft, and we'll come up with some different ideas or make some changes. And it gets read through quite a few times, and sometimes we give it to other people to read. And then once we're fairly happy with the story, we'll give it to Chantal, our illustrator, and get her to do the illustrations, some rough sketches of the illustrations. And she has a read of it as well and lets us have some comments. And once we've then got all the pictures together and we've decided, Chantal lays the book out. And it's then that it gets sent off to the printers, and we get another first draft of the printed version. And once we're finally happy with everything, we then get them all printed. Now that process can take us generally about a week or so to come up with a first draft or a draft that we're reasonably happy with, but we keep coming back to it because it's important when you're editing your books to keep putting them down and to come back and reread them again, because you spot so many little things. So yeah, it usually takes us about 3 months from start to finish to get a book written.
Yeah. Okay. So one more question we've had in. When should we add plot twists? And this is a great question. So throughout your story, you want to create lots of tension, lots of different things happening to keep the reader's interest. And some authors just let that happen as they're writing. But very often we plan our writing alongside, and you probably at school you've probably seen story mountains. So we then plan our story mountains. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. see. So there it is. So this is a story mountain for one of our stories, the Pojo Saves the Rainforest. So we've got the beginning, the middle and the end here, and it looks like a little bit of mountain. So we start in Sam's bedroom with Pojo's itchy paws, and we end back in Sam's bedroom. We always try to solve the problem right at the pinnacle of the story there, and along the way we have all the various points of things happening. Now this can be much more jagged than this, and if you want to take it down different routes you can do, but we use this to sort of plot out where the story is going. And certainly when we're writing the Roman stories, it was really important to have a plan, because we actually rewrote that story about 3 times. In the end we came up with a bit of a plan like this, so that then we could actually work from it and know where the story was going. So actually what you can do with this is, if I just rotate it back again, is, let's rotate that again, sorry, one more time, is use this as you're writing. So you've got the beginning of the story and the end of your story down here, and then you can use this and almost tick them off as you go along. So that's quite a good way of then using your story. So let's come back to the screen there. So that's how I would add, or how we would add plot twists.
And the final question that we've got for today is, what's our next Pojo story? And that is, we're currently working on a Stone Age story for Pojo, so he's going to go back to the Stone Age. But we've also been working on some story creators and Pojo story creators. So there'll be, it's a little book with different sections in it, and there'll be sections on where Pojo could go to, who he meets, and what sort of problems can he solve. And you can do a little mix and match with those. So we're busy working on those at the moment as well, and so we're hoping that those will be ready for release shortly, and we'll be letting you all know when they are. So I hope you've got some good information from our Q&A today, and if you've got any other questions you want us to do, don't forget to let us know.
Yeah, so all our subscribers can submit questions for next month's Q&A, and that would be great to have some fantastic questions for you. We always love to answer them. So, bye then.
See you, bye.
Bye.